Hello everyone, I'm Penny Schuckman, Director of the Dr. John Burke Learning Center, and I'm here with Jeff Hersh, Superintendent of Schools.
Hi Penny, how are you today?
I'm doing great, how are you?
I'm very, very well, and I'm excited about our new project.
We're doing something new, we're going to try it, and it's called Inside the 261. And it's going to be informational and fun, so tell us a little bit about the vision.
So Penny, we have great staff in our district. We have great students, a wonderful community, and the purpose of our show is going to be to highlight the great things that are happening across our district, showcase our teachers, our staff, our students, and share with our community all the phenomenal things that are going on every day in USD 261.
Well, I am excited to meet our first guest, so let's get started. As we mentioned, we have phenomenal teachers in our district, and we have one here with us this morning. She is a candidate for Kansas Teacher of the Year, and her name is Krystal McCarty. Krystal, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, yes, as you said, I'm Krystal McCarty, and I teach special education life skills at Prairie Elementary. This is my 19th year teaching, all have been in special education in various ways. I have a very supportive husband and 3 active children. All my children attend Haysville schools. I have one at every level this year, elementary, middle school, and at campus, the high school. And we stay very busy and active with my kids in all of their different sporting events.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for our first episode.
Yes, it is my pleasure.
Krystal, welcome.
Thank you.
We're excited to have you on our first show.
I am excited to be here.
So Kansas Teacher of the Year, wow, that's quite an honor. So just to tell our audience a little bit about that, share just what you can about the process and what you know so far about being nominated to represent Haysville.
So when I first found out and my building principal told me, I was very honored. I was shocked a little bit at it. I had to process it a little bit. Again, I felt very honored as Haysville has so many wonderful educators, and I feel very fortunate and blessed to have worked with such an amazing team that I've been a part of past and present. And so I'm only partly deserving of that award because of them. So after it all sunk in and I realized what it was, I was able to dive into the process a little bit more, which does include some essay questions, response questions. I had to get different recommendation letters from other people within the district, and just kind of had to showcase some of the wonderful things that I've been able to do within my educational career.
So one of the questions I have is, after you found out, who was the first person you called?
I told my husband. As I said earlier, he has been very supportive of everything that I've always done, and so I had a call and I told him the great news, and he felt very proud and got me a little more excited about it, kind of the shock. He helped me wear that shock off a little bit.
Did you go to dinner or celebrate?
We didn't, because I'm sure we had a practice and then a game that night that we'd attend for my kids.
Krystal, who inspired you to be a teacher and why?
I come from a very long line of educators. My great-grandma taught in a one-room schoolhouse when she was just 15 and 16 years old. I have great aunts and even a sister who are all teachers and educators, and each one of them have helped shape and inspire me to be the educator that I am today.
Wonderful.
So Krystal, part of the Kansas Teacher of the Year process is you will be able to bring other candidates to Haysville and highlight the great things that are happening in USD 261. What do you want to share with other great teachers from Kansas about Haysville? What are some of the programs you want to highlight, or some of the areas?
I am really excited to have other nominees from the state come into our district and see the wonderful initiative of capturing kids' heart, how our students feel cared about, how they feel a part of our community, and how we have helped that, and the learning, the excitement of learning that teachers are creating for them by their new innovative practices, such as this show that we're on right now. And I hope when other nominees come in our district and they walk into the buildings, they're able to feel that excitement of learning as well.
I would agree. We have a lot of great things going on, and those are some of the highlights of the things that are happening across Haysville. So.
Yes.
Well, you have clearly made a huge impact on our students. That is very obvious. What do you hope your students take away from their time in your classroom?
I hope all of my students feel loved and part of the classroom family that we have built and established. I hope the parents of my students know that those relationships and connections we've built don't just end when their time is up within my classroom, but I hope they know that their child, and even them, they have a cheerleader for the rest of their child's life.
You bet, you bet. Is there anything else you want to share with us this morning before we let you go, Krystal?
No, I am just very honored that I get to be a part of this process, and I am very excited that I had the opportunity to be a guest appearance on the first episode of the show.
Well, we wish you the very best of luck in your K-Toy journey.
Thank you very much.
We are also very honored to have Michelle Fields here today as our Kansas Teacher of the Year candidate. So thank you for joining us. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm in my 20th year teaching. This is my 3rd year here in Haysville. I was very excited to move to the Haysville District. I'd heard great things. My sister has taught in this district for her entire career.
Westina, we love her.
Yes.
Give her a shout out on TV. This might make the news.
Hello, Westina. And then, while I don't have any children of my own, I have a niece that's very much like a daughter to me, and she is a 2019 Campus High School grad.
Fantastic.
So obviously the Kansas Teacher of the Year, wow, that's quite an honor to be nominated for that. And it's a program that recognizes great teachers across the state of Kansas. And you and Krystal were chosen to represent Haysville Public Schools in that. And my question, Michelle, is when you found out, who'd you tell first?
I believe I told either my sister first, because that's usually my go-to person. I also have a friend that is going through this process. She was nominated by her district last year, and we taught together for a number of years. So I think I also reached out to her for a little bit of that wisdom and input in moving through this process.
Michelle, who inspired you to be a teacher and why?
I would say it was probably my 7th grade math teacher. Just with the way she had her classroom management set up and things like that. She had ingrained in us early on to read the lesson, the upcoming lesson the night before, so that we would be prepared for class the next day. So later in the year when we had a student teacher that some of the students had a difficult time understanding, I would already know what was going on in the lesson. So I'd find myself surrounded by my classmates and I would be walking them through how to do the lesson. And it just kind of felt right, and it was that I could really see myself doing this for the rest of my life, sort of. Well, for the rest of my life, sort of moment. That really sounds like a long time when you're in 7th grade, though.
So you were a great teacher even back then in 7th grade.
So thinking about that experience, who told you that you were the nominee?
So that would be my principal. I was pretty shocked when he initially mentioned it to me. I know that there's a lot of very deserving teachers in our district, and I was probably also a little relieved because at the time when he asked to see me out in the hall, and that's always a really even though you haven't done anything wrong, there's just always that fleeting moment of, oh my goodness, what does my principal want to talk to me about? So when it was for this, I was shocked, and then also quite a bit of relief.
So I'm curious, you talked about your sister who is also a teacher in our district. When you two were little, did you play school?
Yes, we did. My grandmother lived with us, and I would be her teacher. She was not one of the best students. I have much better students now. She got Z's. We decided F's weren't enough for her. She would get Z's because she was kind of ornery.
There you go. So part of the K-Toy process is teachers from across Kansas who have been nominated by their respective districts get an opportunity to go and tour the districts of their colleagues. And so you will be bringing a group to Haysville to showcase the things that are going on across our district. What are you going to share with your colleagues that come to Haysville?
Well, as Krystal had mentioned, I think that Capturing Kids' Hearts is a phenomenal program that this district does. It's something that I wish I would have implemented throughout my entire career. I'm also really interested to be able to let them catch a glimpse of Haysville High School, where I work, because there's great things going on there. We have great students, we have great staff, and I think sometimes when people hear the alternative school label, sometimes they maybe get a different idea in their head. So if they could actually come in and see what goes on in our building, I think that that's something that they would be really impressed with, and maybe looking into seeing if they could implement something similar within their own district.
A lot of great things happening at Haysville High School, and,
Yes.
and incredible staff over there, and like you said, great students. So.
Well, Michelle, your students are obviously very lucky to be in your classroom. They hit the jackpot. What do you hope that they leave with as a result of their time with you?
Well, I would hope that they would know that they have somebody that cares for them and will be in their corner for them. I've had students in the past that after they've graduated, they've come back to me because maybe they're in a math class in college and they have questions and they're not sure how to do something. Or I've had some that they're just going through a rough time and they just need someone to listen to and someone to just someone to just kind of be that sounding board. So I just want them to make sure that they know that they have someone that cares for them and someone that's going to be in their corner.
I'm sure that means the world to them. And we want you to know, your 261 colleagues, that no matter how this Kansas Teacher of the Year turns out, you are already a winner in our book. So thank you for joining us for this first episode today.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, Jeff, that was a lot of fun learning about our Kansas Teacher of the Year candidates we have here in Haysville.
Yes, I tell you, Michelle and Krystal, you can tell, great teachers. A couple of things that stuck out to me in their interviews that I think we find all great teachers do, and that is the ability to build relationships.
For sure.
And you could hear that in their answers, their connections with their students, with their families. And again, that's what makes great teachers. It's not, the assignments that they give or the worksheets, it's their ability to build relationships. And you can tell that both of these ladies do a phenomenal job of that. So we're super excited to have them on our first episode and really looking forward to watching them progress through the Kansas Teacher of the Year process. Best of luck, Krystal and Michelle.
Absolutely, and I don't envy the people at the state who are making this decision. They have a tough one.
Yes, they do.
And Jeff and I would just like to remind you that if you have any great ideas for future episodes, we want to highlight the great stuff going on in our district, so make sure you reach out to one of us if you have a great idea.
One highlight we would like to share with you right now is the great work being done at HW, Haysville West Middle School, in Gorilla TV's studio. Miss Stormy Fairbanks, our classroom teacher, and her team have done a phenomenal job of setting this set up today. They've created it, they're recording it, they're editing it, and the final product you see is the work of our 7th and 8th grade students at Haysville West. We're really, really proud of the program and the work that Miss Fairbanks is doing, and want to thank them for giving us the opportunity to work with them.
If they can make us look good, Jeff, they get an A+, I say. What
they
about
got a
you?
tough job, that's for sure.
We talked a little bit about capturing kids' hearts, which is so important in our district. And you all know that we do a launch at the end of all of our meetings and all of our classrooms. So today we wanted to end with a launch that was a quote that had to do with what we talked about today. And it is that every great teacher you meet has a hero of their own, a teacher who inspired them in the same way that they are inspiring others now. So thank you for joining us for our first episode, and we hope to see you next time.
Have a great day.
Inside the 261.
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 Inside the 261.